Well, happy Sunday, everyone. As you can see, I'm in a different location today. If the volume is a little off, please let me know and I will go ahead and adjust it. Welcome to the fitness segment of Swagger Magazine. My name is Beverly Johnson, the resident health coach, personal trainer, and nutrition coach. I am so happy that you all chose to tune in for a few minutes today to join me. Now, I know you're wondering, I'm not in my usual location. And that is because today we're going to talk about a segment of the body that everybody wants to work on, but you're not always quite sure on how to proceed. And that part of the body is the core, because the core can be a tricky thing. So before we go into it, let me describe the core. When we talk about the core, you see, I got my belt on today. I'm official. So when we talk about the core, you normally do sit-ups or crunchies, and sit-ups conquer right here. The sit-ups tackle right here. So you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing. And then when you finish your sit-ups, you hit that side profile to make sure it's stuck, because it's not official until you hit that angle. So you do your 18 sit-ups, 5 squats, then you go profile in the mirror to make sure it's took. And then nothing happens. And then after a while, let me check to the comments. And then after a while, what ends up happening is you become frustrated because you're not seeing a lot of progress in your abdominal section. And that is because we underestimate exactly what the core is. Your core is not just here. It is also here, here, your lower, as well as your core wraps around your back. Now, if you want to talk about, we normally say a good defined core. You know, back in the day when Usher would do his videos, Usher Baby, and he would always have no shirt on. And you would see the cuts down deep in here, the six pack and everything right here. That is the total core package being worked. You especially see it in athletes such as our Olympians on track and field, as also think about Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, where you see the cut coming down the center. You see the muscles worked on the right here, as well as around the sides, as well as your core muscles wrap around the back. Now, why is that so important? It's important that you work the core in its totality because it prevents lower back pain. It improves your posture. It improves balance and stability. And it makes it easy to do daily tasks. Because many times when you go to the doctor and they tell you that you're having back pains, many times that's because we don't have a strong core. And a lot of times we underestimate the core because you figure it's just a few sit-ups. But you also have to understand, when you're talking about your core, it protects your organs. And so when you're able to protect your organs, it improves your quality of life, because everything that you inevitably do in a day, you're either going to bend, pick up something, reach over. Everything that you do is impacted by your core. So I always tell my clients, the stronger we make your core, it minimizes having back pains, because again, we underestimate that our core muscles wrap around our back. So if you're finding yourself having lower pain back here, it could be possibly because we haven't strengthened the back muscles. And so now that you see that the core is more than just here, it is important that we strengthen everything that's going on, because if we limit our core to just right here, you're missing out on defining the sides. You're missing out on defining the back, as well as taking care of this lower portion right here. So when you're doing your workouts, I don't want you to just be in the gym on that little machine going up and down, going for broke for 25 minutes. There are other things you have to take into consideration when working your core. Now, I know you're saying it's just the core, but you have to understand when you're doing your core, if you are a runner, your core impacts your running because you have to be strong enough for everything else. If you're doing your squats, if you're doing your lunges, if you're doing your push-ups, your planks, everything about those movements factor in the core. Now, I know you're wondering, well, why are you sitting in the sunroom / gym / everything room? Because I'm going to show you a few moves that you can incorporate into your workout to build your core. Because the goal is to have a balanced workout that works your different body areas and includes your core. So I don't want you to believe that only sit-ups, the little sit-ups like this when you're on the little machine going 90 miles an hour, that's the only avenue for you to do your core. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to do any floor exercises. However, some floor exercises, when I say floor, you get on the floor, that can improve your core. There are the planks, plank jacks, mountain climbers, burpees, which if you know me, you know I love me a good burpee. I do. I have a love-hate relationship with burpees, but I see the benefit because the benefit is your core, your lower body, and your cardio. So don't be afraid to veer outside of what you've normally been doing and embrace something else. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these exercises. While we're waiting, did y'all have a good weekend? I had a pretty good weekend. I can't complain at all. So one exercise that you can factor into is a wood chop. Now, I'm going to show you without the weight and with the weight. And what the wood chop is, let me make sure I'm standing further enough back. Your wood chop, feet shoulder width apart. You take the weight overhead, and while the weight is overhead, you swing down and come back. Swing down and come back. And what that does is when you're incorporating the weight as well as the movement, it's creating a crunch and it's moving across the body. So you're getting the upper body workout. And when you swing down, you start feeling the engagement of the core. Without the weights, hands shoulder width up, hands together, clasp, and then you sweep down, down and up. And with that one move, you've added upper body, the arms, the shoulders, the core, as well as we managed to sneak in a squat. Because now when you're coming up, you're getting some lower ab workout as well as some lower body workout. So that's one move you can sneak in to get abs, upper body, and core. Another one, which is, I know I'm getting ready to say it, is my favorite, but there are so many that are my favorite. Another one, you've seen it at the gym. It's a cable pull. And what the cable pull, if you play baseball or softball, you've seen that move. So what your cable pull looks like, you pull to one side. Make sure you take your lower body with you. Pull to one side and swing to the other. Then come back. One side, pull. And what that does in that engagement, again, upper body as well as the core. Because a strong core will allow you to make it all the way across. You can still do this move without weights. What does it look like without weights? You just clasp your hands, start position, swing to the side and come back. Swing to the side and come back. Because the biggest thing about it is when you pull, you're working the side abs and the back abs. So then you can see when you're adding different things, you're not just doing the sit-up, crunch, crunch, crunch. That's getting right here. Those other moves from the pulls are working across as well as your back. Another move that you can do. If again, These are just standing options. Another move for you, hands behind your head, the standing cross, where you bring it up, 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 up. Now, this is particularly good if you are not able to get on the floor. This is something that I recommend if you have back problems or you just don't feel comfortable with getting on the floor at this time. So the standing ab move, cross, 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 and cross. You can do that in increments of 30 seconds or not just say 30 seconds to give yourself time. You'll see that often in exercises called AMRAP, as many reps as possible. So that is a good option to add into your workout program. And one last move that I like to incorporate into my fitness programs with my clients is called a dumbbell swing. You can use it with a dumbbell or a medicine ball. And that move, for today's purposes, I'm using a medicine ball. And to make that happen, your feet will be shoulder width apart. It's not a full squat. It's a little hinge. Down and up. Down and up. So you can see it on the side. Down and up. Down and up. So as you can see, you've expanded your workout protocol from not just doing sit-ups, which is good to have. Now you've expanded into the wood chop. So again, your wood chop up, swing down and come up, swing down and come up. You also now have the wood chop. I just did the wood chop. Now you have the cable rope, which you see in the gym where you grab the cable, pull to the side and come back. Pull to the side and come back. Your other option, your standing cross, 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 and cross. And lastly, the dumbbell swing or kettlebell. If you have a dumbbell, you will hold it like so. Feet shoulder width apart, down and come up, down and come up. And as you're coming up, you can feel the engagement of your core. So bottom line in it, I don't want you to fear trying new things. Because we've all heard the old adage, there's more than one way to skin the cat. I don't know who thought of it. I don't know who actually tried. But there are different ways to approach your wellness as far as tackling your core. Because again, extend beyond right here for your core. That's part of it. But to have a balanced program, you need here, here, and here, as well as right here. So many ladies often say, having the fupa, which is this little baby, this is normally called a baby pooch. And so right here, when you're working to get rid of the baby pooch, you're going to need more than just right here. So you're going to need something that factors in right here as well. So don't be afraid to try something different for your workout. Okay, I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but for those that are curious, a non-sit-up exercise on the floor is the plank. So when you go down to your plank, you'll walk it down and you'll take it and make sure that your core is engaged. It's not like that. It's not like this. You're holding steady. Because by engaging the core, something fell. By engaging the core, that makes it stronger. So now you've seen 5 different ways to work your body. Have a wonderful week. Stay dry. The storm is getting ready to come in. And as the old folks, well, my grandma and the elders used to say, when it started thundering, you have to do what? Turn off everything. So as I hear the storms rolling through, I'm getting ready to get offline because it's starting to thunder and lightning my way. And I don't want to lose power. So as always, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me this evening. If you have any, are you welcome, Mama? If you have any questions or is there anything you'd like to see, please send me an email. I'm always here as a resource for you, for our community. So feel free to reach out to me for any questions, suggestions, or topics that you may be interested in. Have a great Sunday. Stay dry, and I will see you all next week.